Almost everything today can be bought on payments. Phones, cars, furniture, even groceries in some cases. Instead of paying the full price, companies encourage you to break that cost into small monthly payments. $10 a month here, $30 a month there. And suddenly, things that once felt expensive feel affordable. But there's a hidden problem with this system. Because when everything is purchased on payments, people stop thinking about the total cost. They start thinking only about the monthly number. And that small shift has quietly transformed how the entire consumer economy works. Let's dive into this a little deeper. For most of modern history, buying something meant paying for it up front. If you wanted a car, you saved money. If you wanted a couch, you paid the full price. And if you didn't have the money yet, you waited. But over the last few decades, the financial system has slowly shifted towards something different. Instead of selling products, companies began selling payments, monthly car payments, monthly phone payments, monthly subscription services, buy now, pay later programs, and installment plans for almost everything. At first glance, this seems helpful. Payments allow people to spread costs over time. Instead of paying $1,000 today, you might pay $50 a month. But this system changes how people evaluate spending. When consumers focus on the monthly payment instead of the total price, they often end up spending far more than they originally intended. For example, imagine two ways to buy the same product. Option 1, a laptop that costs $1,200. Option 2, the same laptop for $40 a month. Psychologically, those two numbers feel very different, even though over time the total cost may end up being the same or sometimes even higher due to interest. This shift toward monthly payments has expanded dramatically in recent years. Cars are one of the clearest examples. Decades ago, many car loans lasted 3 years. Today, it's increasingly common to see loans lasting 6, 7, or even 8 years. Longer loan terms lower the monthly payment, but they also keep consumers in debt for longer periods of time. And sometimes people end up owing more on the car than the car is actually worth. Another major area where payments dominate is technology. Many people no longer buy phones outright. Instead, phones are bundled into monthly service plans. The device itself becomes part of a long-term payment structure. This makes the upgrade cycle easier for consumers, but it also makes it easier to continue paying indefinitely. Then there are subscription services, streaming platforms, software subscriptions, cloud storage, fitness apps, delivery memberships. Individually, many of these subscriptions cost only a few dollars per month, but when stacked together, the total monthly obligation can quietly grow. $20 here, $15 there, $10 somewhere else, until suddenly hundreds of dollars per month are going toward recurring payments. And this brings us to the deeper economic effect. When large numbers of people rely heavily on monthly payments, the economy becomes more sensitive to income disruptions. If someone loses their job or experiences reduced income, those payments don't simply disappear. Car payments continue. Subscription services continue. Credit card minimums continue. Buy now, pay later installments continue. The result is that household finances can become fragile. A small income shock can trigger a cascade of financial stress. This is one reason economists often track something called household debt levels. When debt rises faster than income for long periods of time, the financial system can be... Hey, real quick. I want to take a quick break and throw this idea out. If you would like to take advantage of the coming crisis in real estate, I put together a package of 4 courses. The Real Estate Crash Course that shows you the cycles of real estate, what to do during a bear market, how to sell the properties, and so much more. The link's down below if you want to take advantage of buying all 4 courses for a crazy price. Now, back to the video. Become more vulnerable to downturns. But there's another side to this story as well. Payments have also allowed businesses to dramatically expand sales. When products are framed as small monthly costs instead of large upfront prices, more consumers are willing to buy. This increases demand, which increases company revenue, which encourages companies to design even more payment-based models. This feedback loop is one reason installment payments and subscription models have grown so quickly in the modern economy. Companies benefit from predictable recurring revenue. Consumers benefit from lower upfront costs. But the long-term financial impact depends heavily on how those payments are managed. For consumers, the key issue is awareness. Monthly payments themselves are not necessarily bad. A mortgage, for example, allows people to buy homes they otherwise couldn't afford up front. Student loans can allow people to invest in education. And responsible credit use can provide flexibility during emergencies. The risk comes when the total number of payments grows faster than income, because eventually those obligations begin competing with each other. Rent, car payments, subscriptions, insurance, credit cards, installment purchases. At a certain point, even small payments can add up to a large financial burden. That's why one of the most useful habits in personal finance is occasionally stepping back and looking at the total cost structure of your finances. Instead of asking, "Can I afford the monthly payment?" ask a slightly different question. How much of my monthly income is already committed to payments? Because when too much of your income is locked into fixed obligations, financial flexibility disappears. And flexibility is one of the most valuable financial assets anyone can have. It allows you to respond to economic changes, to take advantage of opportunities, or to navigate unexpected events without panic. So the real problem with everything being on payments isn't the payments themselves, it's the way they change how people think about money. They shrink big financial decisions into small monthly numbers. And when those numbers stack up quietly over time, people can end up committing far more of their income than they realize. Understanding that shift is one of the most important steps toward managing money in the modern economy. Because once you start thinking about the total system of payments instead of individual purchases, you begin to see the financial picture much more clearly. If you found this breakdown helpful and want more videos explaining how modern financial systems and consumer economics actually work behind the scenes, consider subscribing. And if you want to keep learning about how debt cycles and financial behavior shape the economy, check out the next video on your screen where we break down the psychology of debt and why so many people fall into long-term payment traps. Understanding those patterns can completely change how you approach spending and financial decisions. I'll see you in the next one.